My girlfriend said, "Your kids from your ex are annoying, keep them away." I said, okay. I packed her belongings and dropped her off at a motel. I chose them. You are the one who is going away. I, 37 male, have 2 kids from my previous marriage, my son, 9, and my daughter, 7. My ex-wife and I split 4 years ago. It wasn't messy, just 2 people who realized they weren't right for each other. We have joint custody, and the kids stay with me every other week plus some weekends. Been dating my girlfriend, 32, for about 8 months. Things were good at first. She seemed cool with the kids, asked about them, even brought them little gifts a couple times. Nothing major, just some candy or small toys. I thought she got it, that my kids come first, always have, always will. Last night changed everything. Kids were with me for the week. My daughter was practicing her recorder for school. Yeah, the squeaky, annoying instrument every 3rd grader gets. Not gonna lie, it's painful. But she's trying her best, and I'm not about to kill that enthusiasm. My son was building something with his blocks in the living room, talking to himself about spaceships and aliens. Normal kid stuff. Bit loud, sure, but it's 6 p.m. on a Tuesday. Not like it's midnight. My girlfriend was working on her laptop at the kitchen table. Kept sighing really loud, closing her eyes like she was in pain. I asked if she was okay. "Can you tell them to be quiet? I'm trying to focus." "They're just playing. I'll ask them to keep it down a bit." Went to the living room, told the kids to use their inside voices. They nodded. Kept playing, maybe 10% quieter. My daughter stopped the recorder practice. 20 minutes later, my girlfriend came out of the kitchen. Stood there with her arms crossed, watching my son rearrange his blocks. Then she said it. "Your kids from your ex are annoying. Keep them away when I'm here. I can't deal with this noise every week." The room went quiet. My son looked up at her, then at me. My daughter peeked around the corner from her room. I felt this weird calm wash over me, like everything suddenly made sense. All those little comments over the past few weeks that I'd ignored. They're so energetic, aren't they? Don't you get tired of the constant noise? Must be nice when they're at their mom's. I stood up. "Okay," she smiled, thinking she'd won. "Thank you, I just need some peace when I'm working, "Yeah, I know. Give me 20 minutes. Walked past her, to my bedroom. She followed, still talking about how she's not trying to be mean but kids should learn boundaries and quiet time and blah blah blah. I pulled her suitcase from my closet, started packing her clothes from my dresser. "What are you doing? Packing your stuff?" "Why? Because you're leaving." She laughed. Actually laughed. "You're being dramatic. I just asked for some reasonable quiet time." "Nah, you told me to keep my kids away, so I'm choosing them. You're the one who's going away." Kept packing. Her makeup from the bathroom, her phone charger, those expensive face creams she kept in my cabinet, her work shoes by the door, everything. "You can't be serious right now." "Dead serious. Over one comment? You're really gonna throw away what we have over one comment?" I stopped packing and looked at her. "My kids live here. This is their home. You're a guest who just told me my children are annoying and need to be kept away." "Yeah, I'm absolutely serious." "I didn't mean it like that." "How did you mean it then?" She stammered. I meant maybe they could play in their rooms when I'm working here. That's all." "You said they're annoying. You said keep them away. Those were your exact words. My 9-year-old and 7-year-old heard you say that." My daughter was crying now. My son had his arm around her. That image is burned into my brain. "Baby, come on. Let's talk about this. I'm sorry, okay? I was stressed. Don't call me baby. We're done talking." Finished packing, zipped up her suitcase, grabbed her work bag and laptop. "Where am I supposed to go?" "Not my problem. There's a motel about 3 miles down the road. I'll drive you there." "You're gonna drop me at a motel? Are you kidding? Would you prefer I call you an Uber?" She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. "This is insane. Over a misunderstanding." "No misunderstanding. You showed me who you are. I'm believing you." Loaded her stuff in my car. She kept arguing, trying to spin it different ways, but I wasn't hearing it. Kids stayed inside with the door locked, told them I'd be back in 30 minutes. Drove in silence. She tried everything. Apologies, promises to be better, tears, anger, back to apologies. Pulled into the motel parking lot. It wasn't a dump, but it wasn't the Four Seasons either. Basic place. "I can't believe you're doing this." I can't believe you thought you could insult my kids in their own home, and I just accept it. They're not even your full-time kids. There it was. The real feelings coming out. Get out of my car. What about my stuff still at your place? I'll box it up. You can pick it up this weekend when the kids aren't here. Handed her the suitcase and work bag. She just stood there in the parking lot, looking shocked. I drove home. My son asked if she was coming back. Told him no. My daughter asked if it was because of what she said. Told her absolutely not. That some people just aren't ready to be around kids, and that's their problem, not the kids' problem. We ordered pizza, watched a movie. They fell asleep on the couch, and I carried them to their beds. Now I'm sitting here at midnight, wondering if I overreacted. But then I remember my daughter's face when she heard those words. Nah, I didn't overreact. I reacted exactly right. Update 1. 4 days later. Well, this blew up. Thanks for all the messages and support. Didn't expect this post to get so much attention. Here's what's happened since. The next morning after I dropped her at the motel, I got 23 texts before 8 a.m. Started with apologies, moved to anger, then back to bargaining. Stuff like, you're overreacting, think about what we had, I'll apologize to the kids. Ignored all of them. Spent that day with my kids. Took them to the park, got ice cream, just normal dad stuff. My daughter kept asking if I was mad at her. Broke my heart. Had to keep reassuring her that none of this was her fault. My son, being 9 and thinking he's way more mature than he is, told me, Dad, she wasn't very nice anyway. Her laugh was weird. Kids know. They always know. Friday evening, I boxed up the rest of her stuff. Found more than I expected. Face masks, hair products, some books, a whole drawer of workout clothes I didn't even know she had. Packed it all neatly. Even folded her clothes. I'm not trying to be petty, just done. She texted asking when she could pick it up. Told her Saturday at 2 p.m. when the kids would be at their mom's place. Saturday came. She showed up with her sister, 28F. First red flag, brought back up. Her sister immediately went on the offensive. You know she didn't mean it like that, right? You're being incredibly immature about this whole situation. She called my kids annoying and told me to keep them away. How else should I take it? My ex-girlfriend jumped in. I was stressed. I had a deadline. You know how I get when I'm working. Yeah, I do. And now you can be stressed somewhere else. Her sister started up again. This is ridiculous. She apologized. What more do you want? I don't want anything. I want her to take her stuff and leave. My ex tried a different approach. Soft voice, tears starting. Baby, we were good together. You know we were? Can't we just talk about this like adults? Adults don't insult children. Take your stuff. She wasn't moving toward the boxes, just standing there trying to make eye contact. Do that thing where she'd tilt her head and look up at me. Used to work. Not anymore. Her sister grabbed a box. This is so stupid. You're throwing away a relationship over bratty kids making noise. I stepped forward. Call my kids bratty again. Please. Give me a reason. She shut up. But the look on her face said everything. My ex-girlfriend at least had the sense to look embarrassed by what her sister said. They loaded the boxes into her sister's car. Took maybe 10 minutes. As they were leaving, my ex turned around. You're going to regret this. Good luck finding someone who'll put up with the whole package deal thing you have going on. The package deal is the best part of my life. That's what you never understood. She left. Changed my locks that night anyway. Seemed like the smart move. Sunday, the kids came back. My ex-wife dropped them off and asked if everything was okay. Apparently our son mentioned the breakup. Yeah, everything's fine. Just didn't work out. She gave me this look. She knows me too well. Did she say something about the kids? Doesn't matter now. It's handled. Want to talk about it? Nah, we're good. She nodded, said goodbye to the kids, and left. We might not be married anymore, but we're still a team when it comes to these two. Monday morning, I woke up to texts from 3 of her friends. All basically the same message. I'm a jerk, she's devastated. How could I be so cold? She made one mistake, blah blah. Blocked them all. Don't have time for that. But here's where it gets interesting. Tuesday afternoon, I get a call from my landlord. Apparently, someone called and told them I was subletting the apartment illegally and using it for short-term rentals. Complete BS. My landlord knows me, knows my situation, and after a 2-minute conversation, confirmed everything was fine. Just wanted to check in. The caller seemed pretty insistent, but I looked at your file and nothing's changed since you signed the lease. You're all good. Thanks for checking. Any idea who called? Said she was a concerned neighbor. Didn't leave a name. Real subtle, but okay, if that's how we're playing it. Update 2, 2 weeks later. This got messier than I expected. Should have known she wouldn't just disappear quietly. Last week started normal. Kids and I had a good routine going. Homework, dinner, some TV time, bed, simple, peaceful. Everything felt lighter without someone constantly sighing about noise or making comments about energetic children. Wednesday night, my daughter's teacher called. There was an incident at school during pickup. My ex-girlfriend showed up at the school at dismissal time. Tried to talk to my daughter, told her she missed her and wanted to explain things and that daddy got the wrong idea. My daughter, bless her, told the teacher she didn't know this person very well and felt uncomfortable. Teacher immediately intervened and called me. I was at work, about 20 minutes away. My ex-wife was supposed to pick up that day, but was running late from a meeting. I called her first, explained the situation. She left her meeting immediately and got there in 10 minutes. By the time I arrived, my ex-wife was already handling it. My ex-girlfriend was in the parking lot, arguing with the school security guard about having a right to see the child. Walked up to the situation. You don't have any rights here. Leave. I just wanted to apologize to her. You won't let me talk to you, so I thought, you thought you'd corner my 7-year-old at school? Are you insane? My ex-wife stepped in. I don't know what happened between you two, but showing up at their school is completely inappropriate. You need to leave before we call the police. My ex-girlfriend's face went red. Who even are you? I'm their mother, and you're done here. Something about my ex-wife's tone made it clear this wasn't a negotiation. My ex-girlfriend left, but not before shouting, "This isn't over." Filed a report with the school. They flagged her in their system. She's not authorized to pick up the kids or be on campus. Also called a lawyer friend, just to know my options if this continued. My daughter was shaken up. Kept asking why dad's friend was at her school. Tried to explain in age-appropriate terms that sometimes adults make mistakes and act inappropriately. Don't think she fully got it, but she seemed okay after some ice cream and a movie. Thursday, thought things might calm down. I was wrong. Got a text from her sister. Long message about how my ex-girlfriend is going through something and really struggling with the breakup. How I broke her heart and she's not thinking clearly. Asked if we could all sit down and talk like adults. My response, she showed up at my kid's school. There's nothing to talk about. Tell her to move on. Her sister, you're so cold. She loved you, made one mistake, and you threw her away like trash. Me, she called my kids annoying, then showed up at their school without permission. That's not one mistake. That's a pattern. We're done. Didn't hear back after that. Friday was quiet. Too quiet. Had this feeling something was coming. Saturday morning, my ex-wife called. Did your ex-girlfriend know where I live? My stomach dropped. I might have mentioned your neighborhood once. Why? Someone egged my car last night and left a note on my windshield that said, "Tell him to call her." You're kidding. I wish I was. I've got photos. Filing a police report today. Felt terrible. My ex-wife got dragged into this mess because of my poor judgment in who I dated. I'm sorry. This is my fault. Not your fault. Your ex is unhinged. But we need to document everything now, for the kids' safety. She was right. This wasn't just petty relationship drama anymore. Spent Saturday compiling everything. Screenshots of texts, the school incident report, photos of the egged car and note. My lawyer friend reviewed it all and said we had enough for a restraining order if she didn't back off. Sent one final text to my ex-girlfriend. You egged my kid's mother's car, showed up at their school. This is harassment. Any further contact or attempts to reach me, my kids, or their mother will result in legal action. This is your only warning. She replied immediately. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't egg anyone's car. You're paranoid. Then, 2 minutes later, maybe if you'd just talk to me like an adult, instead of blocking me out, I wouldn't have to find other ways to get your attention. Screenshot, sent to my lawyer friend. That's basically an admission. Sunday morning, she posted on social media. Didn't tag me, but it was obviously about our situation. Long post about narcissistic men who use their kids as weapons and being punished for having boundaries and toxic co-parenting dynamics. The comments were mixed, her friends supporting her, some mutual acquaintances questioning her version. A few people who knew me defending me, which was nice. I didn't respond or engage. My lawyer friend advised against it. Let her rant. You've got documentation of her actual behavior. That speaks louder. Monday, I kept the kids home from school. Just a mental health day for all of us. We needed it. Went to the movies, got lunch, spent time together. My son asked why we were having a fun day on a school day. Because sometimes we need to remember that it's just us three and we're good. Really good. My daughter hugged me. I like it when it's just us, Dad. Me too, sweetheart. Me too. Got an email from my lawyer friend that evening. We had enough to file for a restraining order based on the school incident and the implied admission about the car. Asked if I wanted to proceed. Looking at my kids sleeping peacefully in their rooms, decision was easy. Yes, file it. Final update, 1 month later. Time to close this out. Things have settled, mostly. The restraining order got approved, temporary at first, then made permanent after a hearing. My ex-girlfriend showed up to court with her sister and a different attitude. All apologetic and misunderstood. Judge wasn't buying it. Especially after reviewing the school incident report, the text messages and photos of the egged car with the note. Her lawyer tried to argue she was emotionally distraught and not thinking clearly. Judge pointed out that showing up at a child's school requires planning and clear thought. Not exactly the defense they wanted. Order prohibits her from contacting me, my children, my ex-wife, or coming within 500 feet of our homes or the kids' school. Duration, 3 years. She tried to speak directly to the judge at the end. Your Honor, I just wanted to apologize to the children. He won't let me. Judge cut her off. Ma'am, you don't get to approach children after being told no by their parent. That's not your right. This order stands. Walking out of that courtroom felt like closing a book. Her sister glared at me, but I didn't care. This was about protecting my kids. The social media stuff continued for about a week after the hearing. Vague posts about legal abuse and men weaponizing the system. Most people ignored it. A few mutual friends reached out to ask my side. I kept it simple. She showed up at my kids' school without permission after I ended things. Everything else followed from that. Eventually, her posts stopped. Either she moved on, or someone with sense told her to shut up about it online. The kids adjusted well. My daughter doesn't ask about Dad's friend anymore. My son occasionally mentions he's glad it's less crowded at home now. Kids are resilient like that. My ex-wife and I are actually closer now than we've been since the divorce. Shared trauma of dealing with someone unstable tends to do that. We're better at communicating, better at co-parenting. She joked that my terrible taste in women made her look better in retrospect. At least I never showed up at the kids' school uninvited. Bar's pretty low there. Still cleared it. Fair point. 2 weeks ago, I was at the grocery store with my daughter. She was picking out cereal, taking forever to decide between two basically identical options. This woman approached, maybe early 30s, nice smile. Your daughter's adorable. Thanks, she's great. Single dad? Used to hate that question. Felt like I had to explain my whole situation. But this time it felt different. Yeah, joint custody with their mom, but they're with me a lot. That's really cool. Not enough dads are that involved. We talked for maybe 5 minutes. Normal conversation. She didn't make weird comments about being loud or energetic, didn't ask intrusive questions, just normal. She gave me her number. No pressure, but if you ever want to grab coffee, let me know. I took it. Haven't called yet, but I kept it. Maybe I will eventually, or maybe not. Either way, I'm not rushing into anything. Because here's what I learned from this whole mess. My kids are my priority. Always have been, always will be. Anyone who can't understand that or makes them feel unwelcome isn't someone I need in my life. Period. The right person will get it. They'll see my kids as part of who I am, not obstacles to work around or tolerate. They won't need me to keep them away or make myself smaller to accommodate their discomfort with normal child behavior. My ex-girlfriend did me a favor by showing her true colors early. Could you imagine if I'd married someone like that? If my kids had to grow up in a house where they felt like they were too loud, too energetic, too much? Nah, we're good where we are. Last night, I was putting my daughter to bed. She looked up at me and said, "Dad, you know how some kids have stepmoms who are mean in movies?" Yeah, I've seen those movies. I'm glad you didn't pick one of those. Me too, baby, me too. She fell asleep holding her stuffed elephant, the same one she's had since she was 2. My son was already snoring in the next room, probably dreaming about spaceships and aliens. This is what matters. This right here. The apartment's quieter now without someone constantly sighing or complaining. But it's a good quiet. A peaceful quiet. The kind where my kids can practice their instruments and build block towers and just be kids without worrying about bothering anyone. Someone asked in the comments of my original post if I had any regrets. Only one. That I didn't see it sooner. But you can't change the past. You can only protect your future. And my kids' future doesn't include anyone who sees them as annoying or inconvenient. We're doing good. Really good. And that's enough.